see, whenever I sit down to think, I think of my thoughts. On our hospital, I could be when I invite her for a dinner for food for thought. But what were you thinking when you were carried away in a ship like Titanic that was sinking? Tell me to your puzzle what was missing.
Welcome to the Meet Personality Show with Itohs, a platform where we spotlight all the young and talented individuals who are actually using their skills and talent to create impact, not just for themselves, but for their society at large. I'm your one and only IT to the OHS with the art. Today on the show, I have here with me in the studio a personality I've always respected so much. He is an author, a spoken word artist, and the mobilization lead of the Artvocacy movement in Nigeria. Join me as I welcome on the show 2plies Zakari.
Yeah. What up, amazing, beautiful people that call me 2P E to the S, 2plies Zakari. Not me favorite boy for the host, favorite boy for the show. Spoken word artist, poet and a writer, advocate for the girl, child brand influencer, aside of things I do on the flip side, and I'm twice as happy to be here.
Boom!
Yes.
You guys, so this is 2plies Zakari. Welcome to
you,
the show, man. It's my pleasure to have you.
Thanks for being grateful, man.
Alright, so 2plies, so how was the journey been so far for you as a spoken word artist?
Wow, it's really been amazing. It's one I'll describe as redefining purpose, vision, and alignment. To me, I studied poetry, funny enough, in school. It was just about me just trying to tell my own story, my own narrative, about me putting out my thoughts out there. So to me, poetry is about self-expression. So I discovered I could talk, I could write. How about I put it in a creative way that could actually appeal to people? And to me, then I didn't know that was poetry. So I started out and I was putting out stuff. Then not really content to say, I was just putting out stuff. And here we are, man.
So before you discovered that, what led to that discovery?
To me, I feel I'm always on a quest to a destination of purpose. Like I'm always unraveling things. I'm the inquisitive type, yeah. I could sit here and my mind could be racing, lots of things maybe trafficking my mind. I could be like, okay, what you go do next? What if you do next? What could you do with this thing? How could you switch this thing to another thing? So I'm this guy that has this imaginary mindset. So for me, it was first of all enjoying rap music.
Okay.
Then from enjoying rap music to start to put out my own kind of content in terms of poetry.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the journey in brief.
So describing your talent at that time, because you said it was quite early in your school. Yeah. So how were the reactions from your family members, parents, like?
They just saw me as a young guy that was crazy and stupid. Yeah. For me, they just saw me as a young guy, and God made it easy for me. They accepted my stupidity, but for me, I've been able to convert that into creativity in stupidity. So it's you seeing me as this crazy stupid guy, but this is me making out content or making out stuff from that stupidity, and it's appealing to you. So to me, I feel like at first they would my house no be that kind of house we go really say no do this, don't do that.
I think you're very lucky to have that kind of family, because most of my personalities on the show don't usually get that early acceptance from their parents. It's rare.
My house, as long as you pass your book for school, you don't get as long as you pass. Anything you want to do in your life, just a pass. Yeah, so.
Okay, so tell us about the advocacy movement where you are the mobilization.
Okay, great. Guys, just in case you don't know, there's a movement called the Artvocacy movement. spelled as Artvocacy, Artvocacy movement, an articulate run for a new Nigeria, where creative use their various creative art forms to speak about social justice issues like gender-based violence, which I'm most particular about, inclusion and disability rights, poor education, insecurity, religious intolerance, a whole lot that concerns the Nigerian state and the Nigerian youth. Yeah, so the movement was activated on the 12th of December 2021, and since then we've been able to put out like whole lot of things. Where if I start to mention today, and I will be like, how many times have they put all these things? So trust me, it's a movement that welcomes anyone that has anything to do with the creative space. As long as you're a writer, you're a poet, you're a musician, you're a singer, you're a dancer, you're a calligraphy artist, anything that has to do with the creative space, please, Advocacy movement needs you.
So guys, you've heard about the advocacy movement. You can go check it out on social media.
Yeah.
If you're a creative, join the advocacy movement. So 2plies, you, from what you've said so far, you seem to work around the creative space with young people. So from your own perspective, how lucrative do you think this industry can be for the current creative and forthcoming creative as well?
In terms of lucrative, the industry is highly lucrative, trust me. I don't really have the statistics here off heart, and I wouldn't want to roll out the wrong statistics. Maybe no can go verify the information, can be like say fake news. But trust me, it's a very lucrative industry. To me, I see it's way bigger than oil and gas. It's way bigger than crude oil in Nigeria fight for. So I feel like see Bonner now, see Wiz now, see David now, see M now, see these guys are export. Yeah, so I feel like the creative space is steadily welcoming people. You don't really need to write an official letter. You don't need to get official CV to join the creative space. As long as you could actually put out something that's creative, it could actually make sense and appeal to your kind of audience. Trust me, the creative space welcomes you, and there's a whole lot of money to make, especially now that the industry, though not where it should be, but trust me, it's definitely not where it used to be, the creative space in Nigeria. So money day now. As long as you do something good, money day.
Alright guys, so it's still the Meets Personality Show with Itohs, and I still have you with me in the studio, 2plies Zakari, spoken word artist and author, and the mobilization lead of the advocacy movement. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll talk about 2plies Zakari's book. Stay with us.
For me, I tend to accept it. I think that's how I handle when I am sad, when I'm in a bad place, when I'm going through a hard time. I kind of accept it. I don't struggle with it. I don't try to see it as something that I need to come out, I need to break out. No, I instead see it as a part of life, as part of my story. Like, if I don't get sad, where will sad songs come from?
Alright guys, welcome back to the show. It's still me, your one and only IT to the OHS with the art. I still have a 2plies Zakari, and on my hand here I have a publication by your one and only 2plies Zakari, the Autopsy, and congratulations on this project. Alright, so 2plies, what is this book all about?
Yep. So the Autopsy, a poetic compendium, is a collection of poems. So if the funny thing is, if you look at the title of the book, it's called The Autopsy, and mere hearing the word autopsy, one would want to think who died. I think they do autopsy for because ordinarily the autopsy interprets to a posthumous test on any dead person to find out the cause of the person's death. So to me, at the point where I was scribbling out the autopsy, I felt like there were so many things that weren't right in the Nigerian state, in my life, around me, in my immediate society, in the world at large. So I felt like, okay, why not before some certain things die, why not actually carry out a test to understand why some certain things would die and why some certain things die. There's failure in marriage, there's failure in healthcare, there's failure in security. There's a lot of things happening around, and I felt like, okay, why not start to do your own personal research? And when you do your own personal research, you could actually put it out in a very creative way that would be appealing to people to want to read, or people want to like flip the pages. And I'm like, okay, the autopsy. And it just came, and I was like, okay, the autopsy. And since then I carried the vision for like I think for like 9 months. Then I was just putting out poems, and I'm like, okay, since you have like different poems that touch all the facets of society, why not just put them together into a book and make it a compendium? And here we are, the autopsy.
Yeah, I love the creative idea behind the project. So what was the challenges of you putting this out? Because I know how it is.
Plenty of money, kudi, ego. First thing, money, man, was money, bro. Like, trust me, as a young creative, or as a young person, you have ideas. I'm trying to remember the way Buju said it in the song. If you don't get money, they kill idea. So why stand right here?
True.
Bro, so if you don't get money,
get idea, money no say. So just be like say you don't get any idea at all.
So then I remember vividly, I had to sell my phone. Then I was in school, funny enough, I was in school. I was still an undergraduate, 2019. I was going to leave school, so I wanted to put out a project before leaving school. And since I was the guy that everybody know, 2plies boy stage, I felt like, okay, why not do something that would live forever in this school before you leave this school? Like, okay. So when I started to back the whole idea for the autopsy, I said, okay, I'm going to put it out as a student. And I was going to invite all those lecturers that they teach me for classes. Sometimes they feel like, say, yeah. So I put it out there and invited my HOD, invited the dean, invited the VC, invited so many lecturers. And lucky for me, I was born around the academia. My parents work with the academia, so it's really natural for me to get these persons to come around for the book launch and the autopsy.
And that was massive.
Really massive. 2019 was a year, baby. Trust me. The year 2019.
So in 2020, your book received the Book of Award.
Yeah.
The Book of Peace Award from Rome, Italy. Tell us a bit about that.
So I remember that evening I was just there I was just retrospecting through the weekend, because this thing I do for the weekend. Most times I tend to shut off social media for weekends, so I could like do self-rediscovery for the new week. And my friend just called me and he's like, hey bro, what's up, where you at, man? I'm like, I think also like we've got this offer, we need to put out a book on an application, and that book may be recognized. And he was like, you have a book now, it's a new book, why not send it to us? I'm like, I hope no one use my sense, that kind of thing, no one use me. I'm like, okay, what do I really have to do? Then I sent him the soft copy and everything of the book, and they used it as an application for, I can't actually remember what exactly, but I think it's an NGO, so they used it, and luckily the application scaled to the next, and when it scaled, they needed to specially recognize the book in the application, and so that's how it came. And the award came from Rome, but it was in lockdown, so I don't know if you travel go Rome. Lockdown.
Wow, you missed that experience.
But it's fine, I still got my award in my house here.
So that was massive. Congratulations once again.
Now go there.
Although I've not got to read the book, but after this show, I'll definitely go through the book.
Please, you should.
Yeah. So how can any other person get a copy of the book?
Yeah, so amazing people, if you want to get a copy of the Artvocacy, a poetic compendium, you could kindly go on to www.maikalmahub.com. It's up on my website, and you will definitely see other creative things I do on my website, so yeah, feel free to.
Alright guys, don't bother, just check the description of this video and you'll get to see the link to get the autopsy. We'll go on a very short break now, and when we return, 2plies Zakari will give us a freestyle on the show. Go nowhere. Yo guys, welcome back to the show. I still remain your one and only IT to the OHS with the artist. Still with me here in the studio is 2plies Zakari.
Yeah, amazing, beautiful people. Still there, I'll never go anywhere.
So 2plies, I beg drop freestyle for your people, make them feel so. I realize that we don't speak plenty English too much.
Okay. So when you sit down to think, what do you think of? How distinctive and how profound could you be from the regular? You want to write history, but yet you can't afford a pen. Fearless like a lion, but yet you say you're scared of a den. See, whenever I sit down to think, I think of my thoughts. On our hospital, I could be when I invite her for a dinner for food for thought. But what were you thinking when you were carried away in a ship like Titanic that was sinking? Tell me to your puzzle what was missing. Napoleon Hill said, I have the ability to control my mind, so I bring out a canvas to paint me a mental imagery, converting my kinetic energy. See, I'm sitting in front of people. My mind eye sees me in London, Cairo, Chicago, Trinidad, Tobago, a place where no one from my hometown has never gone. You could tell by my sense of empathy. My words needed not to be said in verbatim, it could be heard through telepathy. Sometimes in my reflection I say, dear Lord, why have you given Nigeria crude oil? For this crude oil has become a blessing and a curse. Yes, a blessing and a curse. Now the curse overthrown the blessing, and the blessing is appeasement to the curse. Now, critically the critics criticize the critics, and the critics falls on the critics. But what do you think of? Is he love, fortune, makeup, life, crew, nasty con, or high-rise inflation, the massive starvation, livelihood degradation, our leaders' corruption? Our brains are made up of 12 billion nerve cells arranged in an echelon, but what do you do with them? For your actions, your words, you can't even account for them. See, right from time, man say man is brutal, nasty, but they just say, no. Society made me who I am. So yes, you are who you are. For a man with no thought is a myth. Yeah, a man with no thought is a myth. So part of my mind, as if I wasn't listening when you were talking, it's not ignoramus, it's I was just critically thinking.
Yo, that's 2plies Zakari, critically thinking. Thank you so much for that freestyle, man, you are dope, man.
Thank you.
Alright, so 2plies, any special shout outs?
Shout out to all the people that have been there before me. Shout out to all the people that are making great stuff when it comes to poetry. Shout out to all the people that have been creating impact all over the world. Shout out to all the people that believe that yes, the creative space is like a powerful tool that we could actually use to create social change. Shout out to all the feminists out there. I'm a proud one like you. Shout out to all the mothers out there. Shout out to all the people who are born creatives out there. And shout out to everybody that has a dream, that's still finding a way to find that dream or make that dream a reality. Bless.
Nice, man. So what are your social media handles in case anyone wants to link up with you?
Yeah, and I'll gladly follow back. On Instagram, on Twitter is at 2plies Zakari. That's 2 Plies Zakari, Zakari. 2plies Zakari. I'll gladly welcome you to my page.
Yeah, so go follow 2plies Zakari to see other amazing content that this guy has, and don't forget to get a copy of this great book. So 2plies, before I let you go on the show, what is your last word to every young personality, every young creative outside there trying to make his or her dream become a reality?
Simple thing. There are so many people and so many destiny tied to yours. So if you let your dream die, that means all the people that their destiny are tied to yours will definitely die. Because in life, there is space and there is time. And everybody within the perimeter of your space and your time would be impacted by the works from your space and your time. So if you let your dream die, it simply means all those people attached to you would die. So you know what that means.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming up on the show with me today.
I appreciate, man.
Alright guys, so we've finally come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always following the Meet Personality Show. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and also click on the notification icon so that you'll always be the first to get our content whenever we drop. I still remain your one and only IT to the OHS with the art. Signing out on this edition of the Meet Personality Show with Itohs. See you next time.